McLean.
Good evening. In the news tonight, a 62-year-old man has become the 5th person in the world to get an artificial heart. Jack Burcham, a retired railroad man, is the oldest person to get the mechanical heart. Doctors had some trouble putting it into his chest because it was too big for the available space. They had to chip away some bone to get the job done. Tonight, Burcham is said to be doing well. A communications satellite launched from the shuttle Discovery yesterday is still spinning uselessly in space. Mission controllers are considering a spacewalk to fix things, and back on Earth today, other astronauts were rehearsing what would have to be done. They were underwater to simulate weightlessness. Peru is expected to swing to the left after today's presidential election. Soldiers and police officers stood guard at polling places to fend off attacks from Maoist guerrillas. We'll cover those stories and more later tonight on The National. Now back to Hockey Night in Canada.
It's a whole lot easier to enjoy a game like this than it is to explain a game like this. For some reason, teams get the lead in this series and fail to hold it. Yet, for some reason, the team that plays with the lead usually winds up winning the game. We'll see if that takes place tonight as the Canadians built the large lead, lost it, and are now tied. Let's now go to Long Island and Jim Houston.
There was a chance moments ago by Dwayne Sutter, who shot the puck wide and then centered it, but the Capitals swept the puck away. 1:52 to play in the second period as the Islanders win a draw in the Capitals zone. Get a shot towards the goal, but Jensen covers up. There's been a much more wide-open hockey game tonight than it was last night when the teams played a classic defensive game. Tonight, they have created lots more chances and have skated far more freely. Hasn't been as much hitting tonight either. Islanders facing elimination, trailed by 2, 4-2 to the Washington Capitals. Scott Stevens has the puck. Stevens up on the board to Gould to Jarvis. Jarvis with one man back. Takes the shot on Billy Smith. Smith leaves the puck. It's cleared, not out. Here's Bloomquist trying to get the shot away and it tumbles to the end board. In after the puck is Bobby Gould. Gets it loose for Jarvis to Duchesne. Back on the point to Bloomquist. Holds up. Now he shoots. Deflected wide of the net. 1 minute and 5 seconds to play in the second period. Washington 4. The Islanders 2. Washington leads this series 2-1. They could eliminate the New York Islanders tonight. We're in the last minute of the second period. Hasn't been a penalty-filled game, but the power plays have played a part. And Pinelli takes the shot, and Jensen made the save. The Capitals have 2 power play goals tonight in 3 chances. Islanders are 1 for 3 on the power play. Billy Smith took a slashing penalty that set up the Capitals' 4th goal in this second period. 30 seconds to go. Here's Trent Sutter, poke check by Larry Murphy at the side of the net. Charging after the puck is John Pinelli. Taken heavily into the board. Wayne Sutter lost the puck to Dave Christian. Capitals trying to kill the remaining seconds of the second period. There's a struggle behind the play between Pinelli and Stevens. 8 seconds to go, second period. Islanders move up and dump the puck in. New York Islanders are 20 minutes away from playoff elimination. It's Washington 4, the Islanders 2 after 2 periods of play.
So it's an uphill climb for the Islanders with 1 period remaining, or if they need overtime, well, I guess they'd like to say that there might be overtime left. Islanders down 2 goals to Washington after 2 periods. The Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC will continue in just a moment. The Canadians 6 and the Bruins 6 after 2 periods at the Boston Garden. Quite a wild one here, and there was no evidence that this was going to take place after watching the first 3 games of this series. Nobody really knows what's going to take place in Vancouver next season. Harry Neale is in or out of a job, depending on whom you listen to. We'd like to listen to Harry Neale about the situation. He's with Chris Cuthbert.
All of hockey, of course, watching the Stanley Cup playoffs, but the most written about individual is somebody not involved in the playoffs, Harry Neale. And Harry, everybody wondering about your status with the Vancouver Canucks. Exactly what is it?
Well, as of right now, I'm forging ahead as the manager, and I'm heading out next week to see our farm team play. to go to Montreal to talk about our next year's schedule and see some junior games. And until I'm told officially that they don't want me there, if they in fact do, I'll proceed as if I've got the job for the rest of my life.
You were quoted back in February as saying you didn't expect to be back next year. Has anything changed your mind?
Well, we played much better since the time I thought that, and that comment was made at the end of a long chat on a radio interview when we talked about all the coaches that had been fired in the last year or two. And I didn't think you had to be the inventor of television to think that the chances are when you're the manager and coach of a team that was out of the playoffs first in the whole league this year, that they could be thinking about making a change. And I'm sure they're still thinking about it, but they haven't informed me that I'm not going to be back. And so I'm assuming I am, and would like to find a coach in the next 2 months, make sure we get the right draft pick, make sure our schedule's as good as it can be, and then enjoy a month in the summer.
Is that to say you have clearance right now to go out and find a coach?
No, I don't have one now, because that's a way down on our priority list as far as timing's concerned. We really don't need one before next August, but I will certainly be investigating those who are available at the moment, but you have to wait. You should, I think, wait till the end of the season, because who knows who's going to be on the market a month from now who isn't at the moment. And so I would say that that's on the back burner, but nevertheless it's something I'm thinking about and probably be chipping away at getting done.
Well, if Harry Neale isn't back with the Vancouver Canucks, we certainly expect him back in hockey somewhere. Harry, thank you, and best of luck.
If Harry Neale is uncertain about what's to happen to him, so are we uncertain about what might take place in this third period at the Boston Garden. The Canadiens and the Bruins are tied at 6 live on CBC. This is Hockey Night in Canada and the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Brought to you by Apple Computers and authorized Apple dealers throughout Canada.
When you get a hockey game with 12 goals in the first 2 periods, it's pretty tough to find out which ones to show you on our Stanley Cup replay. We'll take a look at 3 of them. This is in the dying seconds of the first period. Montreal on a power play. Bobby Smith scores. That makes it 4-1 for the Canadiens. And it stayed that way till almost the halfway mark in the second period. And then Keith Crowder scored this goal to make it 4-2. 16 seconds later, the Bruins had another one, and this game became a shootout. That's the Crowder goal. Boston tied the game 5-5. And then Larry Robinson, who hadn't scored a playoff goal since 1979 until the other night in Montreal, he got a goal. And the Canadiens went ahead on this pass from Mario Tremblay. But then Linsman scored a minute and 16 seconds later. A shootout at the Boston Garden. It's 6-6 at the end of 2.
Stanley Cup replay brought to you by Apple Computers and authorized Apple dealers throughout Canada.
Ready for the third period, and whatever this may bring. Canadians scored first. Walter back at 4:53 of the opening period. Then it was 1-1. Then it went up to 4-1. 4-2. It got to 5-5. Now it's 6-6. Nyland goes in. First shot missed the net here in the third period. Nyland in after it again behind the goaltender. He falls to the ice. Bruins trying to cover up. That's Bork going behind the net. Shoveled away by Keens, though, and Gainey was there. Gainey bumped by Bork. The Bruins, Linsman. This has been the big line. Linsman again knocked down. In on the boards. Svoboda hanging on to it. And this line for the Bruins, centered by Linsman, who has scored twice. He has Crowder back on the lineup tonight. He was out for Game 3 with a flu. And Charlie Simmer on the other wing.
Well, again, to update that injury, Chris Chelios, a strained right knee, and he won't be back tonight. That happened about midway through the second period, if a 5th game is necessary. And right now, who knows? We'll be back at the Forum in Montreal Tuesday night, 7:30 Eastern Time. Bob, who knows? Do you know?
I do not know. I remember asking you a question somewhere along in the second period. Does it appear as if the Bruins have quit? Boy, sure, they've quit. It's 6-6. Never quit here in this place. Great old building, the Boston Garden, and the Canadians with such tradition. Going in after the Bruins now. Gainey, but the goaltender Keens flipped it away again. Up into the center ice zone. Carbonneau waits. He has to circle. Gainey had gone in there. He's waiting again. Does a pretty good job hanging on to it. Now he has to give it away. O'Connell for Boston with Milbury on the defense. Linsman, Crowder, and Simmer, they remain on there. Harry Sinden, fully aware this is his big scoring line tonight again. It's fired in. Mickey, there's that thing again. An icing called against the Bruins.
Not only from center ice, that time came from all the way back in their own zone. O'Connell let it go, and they're trying to get somebody obviously ahead of the Canadians' defense to get in there first and touch it, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're causing faceoffs back in your own zone. And how many times have we seen goals in this series result from faceoffs in your own zone?
You got it.
So, not a good plan.
There's the picture up there and the big clock hanging from the rafters of the Boston Garden. 6-6, third period. Minute 18 gone. Face off to the right of Doug Keens. It was Peters last night. Keens played the first two, and he's back in tonight. Milbury now poked it away. He has to hold it now with his skate. They're going to get a whistle for another face-off in the Boston zone.
Our Stanley Cup update game tonight, the Islanders and the Capitals. Let's go to the Nassau Coliseum again, and Jim Houston.
In the third period, Pat Flatley takes the bouncing puck off the backboard, takes the pass in front. The puck slowly gets through Al Kinston, and the New York Islanders have some life. They trail the Washington Capitals 4-3. The goal coming 3:26 into the third period.
You talk about teams not quitting. Those Islanders are not out of it yet. We'll keep watching it for you. And this one here, Reed dumped at the line. Offside was Middleton again on the right wing.
This is quite a sports time here in Boston. The Red Sox lost today to the White Sox on a home run by former Red Sox Carlton Fisk, but they had been unbeaten in their first four, so everybody's excited about that. The Boston Marathon is tomorrow. Mickey and Bob still debating if there'll be post-entries in it. They were training very hard today, I noticed.
Yes, we have.
So at the hockey game, it's a busy time. There was a basketball game here this afternoon. The Celtics lost by 10 to the New Jersey Nets. Mick, I kind of wondered if we might be looking at bad ice and saying, well, they had a game here, but it hasn't been the case.
You wouldn't know it, would you? 4 o'clock, the boards from the basketball game were on the ice.
Portman was offside on that play. He was nearly out of the zone, but just trapped.
I had occasion to walk right by Larry Bird as he came out of the Celtics dressing room when we arrived here tonight.
You didn't look
this
up.
Afternoon. Well, no, he didn't. I had to look up. He didn't look down. I tell you, if he played hockey, he'd be the tallest player in the NHL.
What an athlete. He's just 6'9", and he did. Blum. That shot looking dangerous. It bounces down in front of the net. And that was gloved ahead. This one is called back. Face off in the Canadian zone as they near the 3-minute mark of the third.
Second by second.
Score is 6-6 in the third period at the Boston Garden. Puck hit the side of the net. Penny hugging the post. The Bruins are sent back down the ice again. Blum back there with Bork. Blum stops. Leaves it for Ray Bork. They like to do that. Any defenseman is going to carry it. It's going to be this guy. Number 7, Bork flipped it in. Berbers for Montreal with McPhee against O'Reilly. McPhee nearly lost it there. He did. O'Reilly going in. Couldn't get a shot. Scramble for it. The Canadians will not clear it out on that play. Blum hammered at it. It goes behind the net. Berbers again lifts one high. And that gets by Blum and goes out. McPhee and Blum eyeball to eyeball there a moment ago. They've been at it all night. Long shot in by Casper, goes in front of Penny. Svoboda on the other side. Look out, there's Linsman again. Linsman against Bobby Smith. Smith holding him there. O'Reilly trying to go in to help. Now Rooney comes to center ice. Boisvert up on the play. Out of the net is Doug Keens. Gives it to Crowder. Crowder turning with Courtnall and Linsman. Crowder dumped it in. Now Simmer is on the ice. There is Simmer. Took a low shot. Easily stopped at the defense. Robinson on his skate. Now moves it ahead with Carbonneau coming in. Carbonneau centered it. Nyland went after it. Nyland against Charlie Simmer. Simmer hooked it in on the corner boards, and it comes as far as the line. The Canadians keep it in. Crowder ran into Gainey. Middleton, or rather O'Connell, left it there. On the boards again, Gainey hopping after it quickly. Passed it to an open wing. Again, O'Connell, he's smashed hard. And Linsman feeds a pass to Milbury. Back to Linsman. Linsman got away from Gainey. Linsman going in. Shot deflected off the net. The Bruins, the pressure on again. O'Connell got it in front, and Curvers was right there. He fell. Now Gainey ripped the shot wide, and Keens had to move quickly to cover the rebound. O'Connell stepped away from Gainey's check. Canadians make changes, as do the Bruins. They're nearing the 5-minute mark of the third. We're tied at 6. Keens likes to come out. Tremblay crashed into the boards as he hit Bork. Svoboda, the pass to Ludwig. Tremblay got it back to the Montreal defenseman. Svoboda again to Ludwig. Ludwig dumped it to the line. That was nearly intercepted. 2 Canadians racing after it. Coming in, Naslund. He has Tremblay with him. Back to the line. Shot. Missed the goal. Ryan Walter has it for Montreal. Tremblay had to hurry it in behind the net. Naslund coming up with it. Now the Canadians have the pressure on. It's centered and deflected out over the line. We're nearing the 6-minute mark in the third period, and it's been hectic here in the third up to this point. 6-6 is the score. Canadians trying to end the series. Tremblay's shot blocked by John Blum, and 4 Bruins come out of the zone. Shooting it in was Reed. Penny watching the defenseman Robinson, who clears it down the ice. If it misses the net, it'll be icing with O'Connell back there. There gave it a good go, but he did not get there in time. Icing against Montreal.
Well, if walking back on the bench means anything about conditioning, Harry Sinton's better shape than Jacques Lemaire.
Along with that man, Dick Irvin and Mickey Rebin is here too. We're at the Boston Garden. It's tied at 6, and we're coming up to the 6-minute mark of the third period. Smith never controlled on the face-off. Little shot, missed the far corner. Ludwig up after it. Ludwig dumped it high, and O'Connell goes around the net. O'Reilly couldn't move it out. The Bruins will clear it, though. O'Connell got it ahead. Casper goes to the left as Courtnall went in. Broke his stick as he tried to get that shot away. Now they'll try to hold it. Courtnall going to the bench, getting a new stick as the puck is still loose, and Boisvert comes out. A pass. That hit Rooney, and then he's been hit by O'Connell. Milbury going back. Canadians changing again. Bit of room there for Milbury. Now he's bumped by Carbonneau. Svoboda for Montreal to Nyland and Carbonneau. O'Reilly intercepted. He left it there for Courtnall. He had to dump it in front of Penny, and Penny scooped that one away. O'Reilly fell, went flying into the boards, and the Canadians shoot it down the ice, and Bork is back again. They played 7 minutes, third period. It's 6-6. Linsman ran into a Carbonneau, went flying. Now Gainey is in. Gainey shot, stopped by Keens. Gainey centered. Oh! Keens had that one hit his leg, and it nearly dribbled into the corner. Gainey coming close. It's still tied at 6. The Bruins come out. O'Reilly dumped it back to his own line, allowing Linsman to pick it up. He lost his stick. Has to go on in. Now he's knocked to the ice. Linsman over there. Robinson on top of him. Carbonneau lifts a high one out. Boy, Mickey, are they going at it out there tonight?
Unbelievable. Icing called against Montreal as they look to get a change. Big Robinson let it go. They are belting each other all over the ice.
Tonight's game is coming to you from the Boston Garden.
Elsewhere tonight, Washington The Islanders, 4-3 Capitals. Quebec and Buffalo, it's into the third period now, tied 3-3. And the Winnipeg Jets playing without Dale Hawerchuk. Way up on the Calgary Flames, 4-1. We all know what a 4-1 lead means, Bob.
We sure do. This one has developed from 4-1 for Montreal to 6-6. When the Bruins looked as if they were out of it, they were right back into it. 12 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the third period. Middleton, Reed, Goring, the line for Boston in there. Bobby Smith is on there with Tremblay and Naslund for Montreal. The Bruin defensemen are Milbury and O'Connell. Parked inside the blue line. Milbury to the left and O'Connell kind of right out from Penny. Straight out from the net. Canadians shoot it out again. O'Connell was there near the boards to stop it. He put it in off the boards behind the Montreal net. Coming out is Kermers. Kermers nearly lost it there. He was turned around by Reed. Middleton went in after it. In front of the net. It's cleared very quickly by Ludwig, and it goes all the way down the ice. This is going to be icing against Montreal.
Well, we have more action at the Nassau Coliseum. So on Stanley Cup Update, once again, here is Jim Houston.
The New York Islanders have tied the Washington Capitals 4-4 in the third period. 7:55 the time of the goal by Mike Bossy, who looked for a loose puck at the side of the goal. Jensen made a save, but Bossy was able to hammer it home. The power play goal ties it up 4-4 on Long Island as Bossy gets the goal.
And what a night in Stanley Cup 85. The hunt for the cup goes on, and the Islanders are back in it down there. The Bruins are back in it up here. O'Reilly didn't get a shot through. The score is tied at 6. They're coming up to the 9-minute mark of the third period. McPhee dumping one in. Here comes Ryan Walter. Bork watching him. Canadians have the puck in there. It's centered and blocked by Blum. A good play by the Boston defenseman. Here's a pass in front by McPhee. Going nowhere. And the Bruins knock it out of the zone. O'Reilly shoots it from center. No icing. It's waved off as Courtnall went in there in a hurry. Casper and O'Reilly back to the net. Casper has the puck. Casper with his skate. Got it out front. And a quick shot. O'Reilly tried to jam it in on Penny. And he just missed, giving the Bruins a lead. The sticks go high, the pushing and shoving, and Mr. McPhee is in there again.
Courtnall took a jab at Svoboda, I think, to start it all.
And hit him pretty good, too. Svoboda tried to retaliate. They're both going to get penalties here as Brian Lewis assesses the situation.
Stanley Cup 85 on CBC is coming to you from the Boston Garden.
We have had penalties called, minors on Petr Svoboda, the Canadians' rookie defenseman from Czechoslovakia, and Jeff Courtnall of the Boston Bruins out of the Victoria Juniors in the west of Canada. They received 2 minutes apiece for roughing here at the 8:57 mark, third period. Game tied 6-6. Mickey, there's your one-time centerman, Jacques Lemaire. He just got to be saying, what's going on out here? There's this chance that we had here with O'Reilly in tight.
Good stop. That was a good chance by Terry O'Reilly. He got some wood on it and almost jammed it in the short side.
So now, with 4 skaters aside, it'll open up a little bit, I'm sure. Carbonneau went in, his pass stopped by Bork, and he gets away with it. Bork takes a long shot. Penny kicked that one away. Rebound to Crowder. Bork has it now. Bork centered it. Watch this one to Blum. Blum gets a shot. That's deflected away in front of the net. Pushing and shoving, and the Canadians come out. Carbonneau and Gainey. Gainey going in. Tried a shot. A weak one on the short side. Nearing the halfway mark of the period. We're tied at 6. Bork on the move again. Bork going in. A nice pass. O'Connell stopped by Penny. And it's slashed away and down the ice. Everybody had a cut at that one. Bork back. Icing called against Canadians.
Mickey, the Bruins taking it to the Canadians.
They are.
Canadians with very few scoring chances. What a contrast in this game. The other night in Montreal, was it the first game? The two teams had a total of 24 shots on goal in the first 2 periods. Tonight we had 49 shots. Bobby Smith led everybody individually with 5. Mats Naslund had 4. Several players, including Ray Bourque, had 3.
Bourque is playing an outstanding game tonight. You get a little bit of ice out there to move when you got shorthanded situations like this. Raymond Bourque, like a forward, he's got great speed. He loves to lug that puck up, and he can shoot the puck like a bullet, score from anywhere around the blue line on in.
Smith tying up his man, but Middleton hopped on it to O'Connell. Gave it to Middleton. Middleton faked a couple of times. Trying to fool Ludwig. O'Connell at the blue line. Did keep it in to Goring. Goring lost it though. Robinson is out. Fell. And Milbury stopped it at the Boston blue line. Milbury going behind the net. He has Goring there to his left. He has O'Connell to his right. That's the way he comes. O'Connell up with Middleton on the move. Middleton going in. Pass Goring! And he couldn't get the backhander away. Middleton put him in the clear. Bobby Smith dancing away. He has been a standout for Canadians tonight. A hot night for Smith, but he couldn't fake O'Connell on that play. Goring missed it near center. It hit somebody. There will be no icing as Robinson goes back. 9:20 to play in the third period. The score tied at 6. Carbonneau moving in. Naslund on the fly. Naslund going in. Can't get a shot. Lost it. It rolled off his stick, and Blum has him now pinned in on the boards in the corner. Goring comes in to help, and the Bruins break it up. Again, Middleton and Bourque. It's Middleton taking the pass. Bourque is in behind him, and offside is called. Live on CBC, this is Stanley Cup 85. The Montreal Canadiens enjoyed a 4-1 lead at one point in this hockey game. And then the onslaught in the second period. Crowder, Goring, O'Reilly, 2 by Linsman for the Bruins. And for the Canadians, Rooney and Robinson. And here in the third, with 8:55 to play in the third period, we're tied at 6. There goes Rooney racing after him. Or make that Hunter. Pretty good skating job by Hunter down the right side. He failed to pick it up, though. Center shot. Wide. Canadians went after it. That's Curvers. Slager fell. 2 Canadians come out of the zone with the puck is McPhee, and he has Hunter. McPhee tried to move this way and lost it in Fergus. In around the net. 8:25 to play, third period. Fergus looks for somebody. At center, he finds Slager. Now coming up is Fergus on the play. Fergus faked the shot. Back of the net with Slager. O'Connell can't move in there. 3 Canadians are ready to come out with it. Gainey and Ryan Walter. McPhee goes to the bench. Naslund is on the ice again. Bruins trying to shoot it in. It went over the boards at the penalty box area.
You know, the one thing, gentlemen, that I notice, Montreal seems to be falling back a little bit in their own zone and allowing the Bruins to set up at the blue line. It's not a good sign, whether they're getting tired or what it is. But it's getting the Bruins time to set up and get some scoring chances, and Montreal's not getting many of their own.
Mick, that's exactly what Lemaire talked with me about prior to the game. That's what his team, he didn't want them to have. He said, you give them 15, 20 seconds in their own zone and you're in trouble.
The score tied at 6. Third period in the Boston Garden. The Bruins have come back a couple of times to make a game of this one. And they're fighting for their playoff lives now. The Canadians leading the series 2-1. Smith knocked it away. Came close to the side of the net. O'Reilly has it. Waver after it. There goes Rooney. O'Reilly got it up along the boards. Casper nearly picked it up. Svoboda is back there. Fell, went into the boards. The Canadians, 3 of them go into the zone. Keens couldn't stop it. He hustles to get back in the net as Bobby Smith and Trombley went in after it. And once again, Terry O'Reilly comes up with the puck and played it to the line. The Bruins, Courtnall down the wing with it. Canadians broke it up. Boston making changes. Again, Montreal's Ryan Walter to Naslund. Shot by Naslund was blocked by O'Connell. O'Reilly again. Nice play to Linsman. Linsman going in. Around in a change. What can you say about Kenny Linsman? A couple of bad penalties in the first period. Nearly blew it for the Bruins. But here he's done it all.
He gets a ricochet here, off of Larry Robinson's right skate. And Linsman just wouldn't quit, Dick. He went down the outside. They had him boxed off to begin with. Curvers did. Penny got frozen at the side of the net, and it deflected in off of Robinson's skate. Linsman with the hat trick.
Cardinal didn't touch it at all. Never got to him. But Penny committed himself.
Yes,
Went
he did.
down. Didn't have time to get back and get set.
There it is. Boy, what a comeback.
What a comeback for Ken Linsman.
Ooh.
Bit of a goat after the first period.
Right.
With bad penalties, which led to 2 power play goals against. Come on, Harry, smile. You're ahead. 7-6 Boston.
Time of that goal.
But Mick, I know it's 2020, but you can almost, you referred to it here just a couple of minutes ago. You could almost sense it coming because the Canadians weren't doing anything from the standpoint of attacking in the Bruins zone. They were really firing and falling back. And it's been that way ever since they got set back on their heels with the flurry in the second period. Keynes hasn't been overworked and hasn't had to make any big stops at all for quite a while.
So here at 13-12, Linsman gives the Bruins the lead, 7-6. Hockey Night in Canada returns in just a moment. Third goal of the night for Linsman.
The Boston Garden is a madhouse. They're cleaning up the ice 4-4. I'm sure the Nassau Coliseum is something the same on Long Island. Quebec now ahead of Buffalo 4-3. The Sabres close to elimination on their home ice. I've just been told that should be reversed and that Buffalo scored. I didn't catch the name of the goal scorer, but Buffalo scored. Playfair, Larry Playfair's given the Sabres a 4-3 lead. And the crowd here, boy, I'll tell you, Mick, for a team that won the first place in their division with a lot of low-scoring, close-checking type hockey games, this 7 goals against the Canadians, this is something very unusual.
Here come the hats from all over the upper echelons of Boston Gardens. Traditional hats for the hat trick, Ken Linsman. Look at them, they're coming up all over the place.
Yeah, this is really something now. They had actually, I think, made the motion to drop the puck. Terry O'Reilly. They say this might be his last season. If so, this could be his last game in this building. Look at the hit he takes from Ryan Walter.
Well, that's the setup that he gave to Linsman just before the goal. And Kenny with those strides, one over the other on the outside. There's where Penny got frozen and couldn't get back. So we'll see what the Canadians are made of the first time they trail in the hockey game.
I haven't seen a hat yet, though. Oh, Cats. Well, whatever. Linsman got Trey in. He's getting showered with the Cats of Boston.
Well, it's given the Canadians time to regroup mentally. Anyway. All right, Winnipeg. 5-2 as they lead the Flames right in Calgary. All right, they say they've announced a crowd here tonight of 13,119. That's about 1,500 under the capacity of this building. I'd like to find 1,500 empty seats. I'd like to find 15 empty seats.
The hat landed on top of the net behind Keynes, and he doesn't know it's there.
That's right.
They're coming out of the upper deck all over the place. Doug Keynes doesn't know that hat's behind him.
That hat could get involved in the play, Mick.
Well, it could.
Somewhere along the way if he doesn't spot it. The Bruins would like to get this game going. I tell you, they're on a roll.
Who's that?
There's the hat.
Behind him.
Right behind.
He doesn't know it's there yet.
And not only hats, but debris and whatever. Some products from my friend at the popcorn machine ending up on the ice. I think we're ready to go.
Hat and all.
Well, now here comes a shoe. A running shoe. Which is another way of promoting tomorrow's Boston Marathon. Got a fish, a shoe.
Now they're at it. Nyland went in there. Pretty good stop by Keynes on that high shot. Crowder coming back up. And his shot missed the goal. Bork fell. Did a good move, though, as he swung around with a stick and stopped it, with Nyland threatening to burst away. Linsman his third goal of the night here at 13-12. of the third period and his fourth of the series. Cordnell and O'Reilly, this one, and a big goal. 7-6 Boston.
I can report that Keens found the hat and threw it over the glass. Dave Andrachuk has added to the Buffalo total. And they now lead Quebec 5-3, third period at the odd in Buffalo.
Naslund with Walter and Tremblay for Montreal. The Bruins, Middleton getting back there. He has Goring and Reed with him. Ryan Walter in fighting for it on the boards with O'Connell. And they get a stoppage. There will be a face-off in the Boston zone to the right of Doug Keens. 13 goals have been scored in the hockey game so far. And a long way to go yet. 6:12 remaining. Ryan Walter in against Goring. Puck dropped in. It goes right to Keens. Walter in battling for it. Goring goes in. They get another whistle.
Bob, they're chanting Tuesday night, Tuesday night. I can see Chris Chilio standing behind the glass in the end zone to the left of Doug Keens now in Cities. And you have to wonder, will Chris Chilios be able to play Tuesday night if these teams happen to arrive at the Montreal Forum at 7:30 Eastern Time?
The Boston Bruins moving again. O'Connell shoots one in. Robinson played it out to Ryan Walter. He couldn't control it properly. Naslund fell. Tremblay ran into Naslund. They both go down. Svoboda. Middleton stole it. But at the line, it's called. 5:43 to play. They got to hand it to the Bruins for hanging in there down 3 goals in a game that would have seen them eliminated. There's Chelios back there with a life jacket. But they hung in there, Dick and Mickey, and stayed with it. They've been rewarded. They're leading by a goal now. They can hang on. Somehow I feel that that's not enough of what we see on the board there. 7-6. There'll be more. Maybe. We'll see. Curvers to Bobby Smith. Played it up on the right wing, and Ludwig is in there. Ludwig centered it. Rooney is covered by Blum. The Boston Bruins come out with it. Casper got to center and was stopped. Bobby Smith turning, trying to go back in. Bork tried to hit him and missed him. Cordnell went flying at the blue line. 5:15 to play in the third period. The Bruins lead now by 1. Four-checking Canadians. Rooney nearly stole it. Curvers fired one in. Off the boards, right to Keens. Bork again. He's got to be getting tired. He's been on there a lot tonight, Ray Bork. Puck shoveled into the Montreal zone. O'Reilly and Cordnell go in there with Casper. That's O'Reilly again. With Cordnell. Cordnell left it for O'Reilly. Walter got the puck though. Fed it ahead across the line where Milbury stopped it. And again, the play is called from the Boston Garden. This is Stanley Cup 85 on CBC. From the face-off, the Boston Bruins flip it in. Canadians Carbonneau lobbed it down the ice. This might be icing, but Gainey is in there first, so icing negated. Now, Simmer, long shot ahead. He tried to set up Lindsman. He's already got 3 goals tonight. From center, this is Crowder dumping it in. Robinson back there with Svoboda. Now, we welcome you people who have been watching the game between Calgary and Winnipeg. This one here in the Boston Garden is something else. I'm Bob Cole with Dick Irvin and Mickey Redmond. We have 4:07 remaining in the third period. The Bruins at 1 point were behind 4-1. Well, it got to 6-6 at the end of the second period, and here in the third, Kenny Lindsman has scored his 3rd goal of the hockey game, and Boston leads 7-6. It's been a wild evening in the Boston Garden, and the place is gone crazy with the Bruins battling back and trying to stay alive in the hunt for the Stanley Cup in '85. They want to send this thing back to Montreal for Tuesday night, where there'll be a 5th game if the Bruins hang on to win this. Bourque now fades back to the net. Bourque will take his time and make sure. That's Ryan Walter for the Canadians, stalking him from in front of the net. Bourque tried to suck him in there. Now he does. And Bourque wins that little battle and rolled it out. Now Bourque is up on it. To the line, he lost it. Naslund going in. Naslund tried to set it up. Bourque got back to help. Canadians jump on it, but now Reed for Boston with Middleton. He fanned on the pass. Blum takes it, got rid of it. That's it. Into the Montreal zone, and that's going to be icing against the Boston Bruins. 3:21 to play.
Well, the lead goal came, Linseman from Cortland O'Reilly at 13-12, and Mick, ever since then, the Canadians really haven't had that much going for them. Keynes hasn't had that much to do. Here's the goal that's given the Bruins the lead. Linseman around behind the net, and it goes in off Larry Robinson's skate after Penny had made the move and was frozen a bit up against the post. Linseman swept around. It went off Robinson into the net. For Linseman, his 3rd of the night. The Bruins 7th, and they lead by 1.
Now Bobby Smith on there for Montreal. He has a goal tonight. So is Rooney. He went after it. Bruins get it out, though. Milbury dumped it ahead to O'Reilly. O'Reilly with Courtnall and Casper, the Bruins line. Rooney with Smith and Boisvert. That's Boisvert, number 12, who went in there after the Bruin player at the line. Svoboda kept it in, but the Bruins shoot it out again. 2:55 to play in the 3rd period. The Bruins with a 1-goal lead, 7-6 here in Game 4 at the Boston Garden. Winding up is Svoboda. He has no room to go, and he ran into the boards as he was forced to turn to the right side. 2 Canadians converging on him. McPhee went in there. McPhee played it up on the boards. Hunter battling to try to get it loose. On the other wing into the corner, Courtnall jumped at it. That's still in there. Robinson, the defenseman, went up after Bourque. They poked at it, and the puck comes loose. Bourque still trying to hold his man there. Hunter. Now Big O'Reilly went in there, knocked down by Robinson. Finally, they get a whistle, and there'll be a face-off in the zone. 2:13 remaining in regulation time. What do you think, Mick? Boston up by a goal.
Now you notice what Robinson did there in that play. He pinched in right away. He anticipated the puck going around back behind the net. He just stayed in. They've got to start to do that now with 2:13 to play here. Well, I'll tell you what, that last goal just indicates that they've been going in all over the ice here, and why not from where it did go off of Larry Robinson. Tough goal for Canadians to fall back on. But this has been one hockey game, I'm going to tell you.
Canadians will keep our eye on Steve Penny. He's still in the net, of course, with over 2 minutes remaining. Charlie Simmer for Boston along with Bourque. They'll get it out. That's Linseman again. He's got 3 goals tonight. Strong game by Ken Linseman. 1:58 to play. Regulation time. The Bruins crowd are centering it. Penny down.
No goal.
The Bruins think it's in, but the referee, Brian Lewis, says no. And you're going to see Harry Sinden up on the boards over there, believe me.
was underneath Penny. I don't know why they were up in the air. I think they...
Tell you, some of the fans behind the glass at that end are laughing.
It wasn't even near.
Here we go again. Here's the other shoe thrown out in the center ice. It was the right foot. Now it's the left foot. Ray Bourque over to get a rest and say something to Sinden. And we got all kinds of Dixie cups mainly being thrown on the ice from the rafters here at the old Boston Garden. So we're going to have a delay here again. Now here's another look at it to see exactly what happened.
It's underneath Penny. Underneath his pad. I don't know what they saw in the back of the net. See, there's the puck. Off the post.
On the line.
On the
now,
line.
wait a minute. Now we can't see.
See, the whistle, I think, had gone at that time because Brian Lewis just gave the signal immediately that there was no goal or no play on it. He blew the whistle.
Once again, we welcome you people who have been viewing the Stanley Cup trail out there in Western Canada with only 1 minute and 52 seconds left in regulation time here at the Boston Garden. We thought we'd give you another look at this thing. I'm Bob Cole with Dick Irvin and Mickey Redmond, and we're looking at something now that's delayed this game again.
Well, this is the only replay perhaps we have that really shows it. From our angle, our view was blocked. We couldn't see the puck. Is it totally over the line? But as Bob pointed out, and Mick, probably what had happened in all of the din here at the Boston Garden, when Penny first seemed to have the puck trapped, Brian Lewis very likely blew his whistle. According to that replay, until the arms went up in front of our camera in behind the Canadiens' net, the puck was not totally over the line. Crowder certainly reacted as though it was, but the Bruins didn't argue the point all that much.
No, Lewis definitely saw the puck because he was in great position to view what had happened. He saw the puck, and he immediately waved no. And, of course, the Bruins and their exuberance, my goodness, they've got to be pumped up. They were down 4-1 at one point in the game. They've come back to tie it 6-6, and now the go-ahead goal, 7-6, here in the third period, the third of the night by Linsman at 13-12. So naturally, they were ready to celebrate an insurance goal, but it was not to be, at least not yet. 1:52 to play in regulation time. And they're still cleaning the debris from the ice of the Boston Garden. They've done their work pretty well. Sinden takes a look at his troops again. A little bit of sweat going on over there, I'll tell you. And some more going on over here with Jacques Lemaire.
Well, Bob, it's been a great night for the Bruins to do what they have done. I mean, you know, there's an old saying, win the last game you'll play in the playoffs. That means you win the Stanley Cup. Failing that, veterans like to say, win the last game you play at home. Now, this could have been the last game the Bruins play at home here tonight. They fell behind very early and quite far, and they have come all the way back to take the lead. They put on quite a show for the home fans.
Now, the job for the Canadiens here, Mick, is to win this face-off and get that puck out of the zone as quickly as possible. Maybe move it down and force a stoppage up at the other end and get Penny out. Well, they won the draw. They have moved it out fairly quickly. Robinson shoots it in. We'll watch Penny. He's still in there with 1:40 to play, and the Bruins fork all over the place tonight in the Boston zone. Clear to pass ahead. Canadiens are offside. On that play, Boisvert trapped with 1:34 to play in the third period. 7-6 Boston.
Well, the Canadiens won the draw, all right, but it didn't do them any good. Robinson rushed up ice, but the attack ended. It fizzled, and they have a face-off now outside the Boston line, and Sinden continues to pace back and forth and back and forth. They want to play in Montreal Tuesday. They're 1:34 away from doing just that if they hang on.
There's Ryan Walter. He opened the scoring way back at 4:53 of the first for the Canadiens. Walter has Naslund to his left side. Boisvert in the right wing. The Bruins fork back, 1.5 minutes left of the third period. Robinson back there. Boisvert hooks a pass ahead on the backhand. Now Crowder steals it. He missed game 3 with the flu, but he's been a hot-handed player tonight for the Boston Bruins. Crowder, number 18, going in after it. Svoboda gets it out. 1:10 left. Here comes Penny out of the net. Canadiens are in there. Extra man on the ice now, and the Montreal net is empty. O'Connell slapped at it. Down the ice it goes. It's going to be icing. A dangerous play. Svoboda back. 54 seconds remaining. A face-off now in the Boston zone.
Penny got to the Canadiens bench with 1:07 remaining here in the third period. So that's when they pulled him. And the Canadiens get the chance now. They get the setup. Face-off, Boston zone.
Doc Lemaire now is calling for a timeout. He'll set it up. 6 skaters.
Well, I tell you, this has been a Boston hockey game from the midway point of the second period. They have taken it to the Canadiens territorially, and Montreal scoring chances, even though they have 6 goals, they're scoring chances from about the halfway point of the second period right till now have been very limited.
We might point out to our viewers in Western Canada that Chelios of the Canadiens was injured in the second period. He's out for the rest of the evening.
strained right knee. All right, so there's the Canadiens coach, Mats Naslund, who will likely be one of the players on the ice listening intently. He scored his second goal in this series earlier on in this game. You mentioned Ryan Walter, Bob, getting the first goal. It seems like it's about 3 hours ago. It seems like a lot longer than that. This has been a long, drawn-out night at the Boston Garden. The fans now who were booing the Bruins very noticeably early in the second period, of course, are very much on the side of the home team.
Now, if there is a Game 5, Dick, you, Mickey, Dave, and I will be at the Forum in Montreal on a Tuesday night, folks, for Game 5 of this series, should there be one. And that's a 7:30 Eastern start time. 54 seconds, however, left in this before we get to a Game 5. And it's 7-6 Boston. The Montreal net is empty down at the other end. And the Bruins line up. Goring will try to win the draw from Ryan Walter. And you can be sure that they're going to be testy in there before they drop this one in. Middleton to the right. Watching Bobby Smith. The draw goes right in front of the net. Canadians after it. And somehow, Keane's down has the puck. Grabbed by the Boston Bruins. And boy, they get away with that one.
You know, it's really interesting. Robinson and Ludwig were looking at each other, getting their signals right. Robinson said to Ludwig, "You make sure you take Charlie Simmer." They didn't expect Montreal to win the draw, and Simmer didn't take Ludwig, and he was all alone. Surprisingly, found himself alone with Keanes, and a big stop, obviously.
Nearly went under his pad. Keane's going down. Just did get the puck. 51 seconds to play, and there it is. At the big clock over center ice at the old Boston Garden. The Canadian net empty to our right. The Canadian 6 attackers on, trying to tie this hockey game down. 7-6 is the score. Boom, shoot it out of the zone. It's rolling toward the net. Robinson is back there. He's tied up. Goring. Zimmer took a shot. Goring got in front. Nobody could put it in the empty net. 35 seconds remaining. In front of the empty net again. Zimmer went in there. Bobby Smith is after it. 28 seconds to play. The Canadians must get that puck out and down the ice. And they do. Now Keane's out of the net, but here comes Naslund centering it. Keane's is down, and once again, he keeps that puck out with only 17 seconds to play.
Oh, you see Doug Keane's put on the brakes. He was out a little too far, and he knew it.
Couldn't handle it.
And did he hustle to get back?
Well, those boards are so egg-shaped, that puck just actually gains speed as it goes around the outside boards, and Dougie Keane's tried to get at it, but he realized he was a bit late. Just couldn't catch up with it.
Get another towel, Harry.
Now the Bruins have called timeout. All right, now look at Keane's. Boy, what a place to start to become a wandering goaltender. Naslund centers it, but it doesn't get by the outside of the post.
It hit Keane's in the right skate, Dick, and stayed right there beside the outside of the net. So all we've got left, basically, with 17 seconds, is possibly this face-off to the right of Doug Keane's. And that may be it. The Bruins get it out, should be all over. And we'll go to Game 5.
Isn't it amazing? There was a time in the second period when, no question, it looked like it was done. The Canadians were in control. They seemed to be organized. The Bruins seemed to be disorganized. There was one power play there. The Bruins they didn't even get close to having a shot, let alone not getting a shot at Steve Penny. They weren't even close. Totally disorganized. And the Canadians, as you pointed out, Dick, were to get some credit for the way they were positioned. They were playing exceptionally well. But don't ask me what happened. She just blew wide open in the second half of that second period. And we went into this one tied, this third period at 6. And Linsman with his third goal. And the Bruins have made it stand up to now. 7-6, the lead for the Bruins with 17 seconds left.
Montreal switches triggerman. Naslund will be the only guy back, and Big Robinson's in front of the net with Rooney and Ludwig. They have to win the draw.
Walter. Can he get that draw? He does, but the Bruins hop on it. 14 seconds left. Burgess can't get it out. The Canadians had a shot at it. It went wide from Robinson's backhand, and they're still looking for it. 5 seconds left. Bruins get it in front of the net. Look out. The shot is wide.
Rooney didn't miss by much.
Boston 7, Montreal 6. Hockey Night in Canada will be on the air again, 7:30 Eastern Time from the Montreal Forum. It'll be Tuesday night, Game 5.
What a comeback. Boy, oh boy, you've got to give this team every bit of credit you can. Very emotional Boston Garden. We've mentioned it would have been easy for the Bruins to pack it in. Down 4-1 at home. But they came back, showed a lot of heart. And this series is back to square one. And they've already proven they can win in Montreal. So it's anybody's ball game. Let's see if we can get a look at that last flurry around Keynes. There's Rooney in the slot with about 3 seconds left right here. Smith is waiting for the pass, but he couldn't, of course, anticipate he'd be there, and he just missed the net. Happy Doug Keynes. It's all over.
The final score again, Boston 7, Montreal 6. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage continues in a moment.
The Boston Bruins force a fifth and deciding game in this Adams Division semifinal. With a 7-6 victory tonight, Ken Linseman had 5 points, including the last 3 Boston goals. Ray Bourque finally got on the score sheet as he assisted 3 times in the big second period, and Serge Boisvert was the Montreal star of this game along with Bobby Smith. But the Canadians gave way to the Bruins' comeback, and Linseman and Bourque were the ones who orchestrated it. 7-6 here in Boston, and they've got a wild one going in Long Island if you've been following that along with us and our update play-by-play man Jim Houston. The Capitals were up 4-2 trying to end the series. The Islanders came back and they tied it at 4, and we are going to show you a goal that broke that 4-4 tie and keep you in suspense who got it as we go to Nassau Coliseum.
Right off a face-off in the Washington zone, Brian Trottier has scored for the New York Islanders. 18:52, the time of the goal in the third period. Trottier has given the Islanders life. They lead 5-4 and try to extend this series to a fifth game in Washington.
So the Islanders, who were down 2-0 after losing 2 overtime games in Washington, now leading late in the third period and trying to win their second game on home ice and force a fifth game at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. That would also be played on Tuesday night. We could have a very interesting Tuesday with Buffalo also leading Quebec and trying to force a fifth game. Let's return to the Nassau Coliseum and Jim Houston.
And here goes Carpenter. Billy Smith may have saved the day. The penalty shot was awarded at 19:30. Brian Murray needs a timeout. I'm sure he's worried about the composure of his team. Here's the penalty shot. Carpenter elects to shoot. Smith looked cool and collected and made it Andy save. What a pressure situation for young Bobby Carpenter. Called upon to take a penalty shot, 30 seconds to go in a playoff game. His team down 5-4. To Van Camp, Philly, on Long Island, where Smitty has again saved the day for the New York Islanders. They picked him up in the expansion draft in 1972, and how many times has he bailed this team out over the years that he has been here? He's controversial, he's outspoken, and he's real good in goal. Here's the play again. Paul Boudelier down in the goal. 30 seconds left in the game. Boudelier knows his team is in some trouble. There's a scramble in his zone. He deliberately lifts the goal off its moorings, and the rule book states that if you deliberately delay the game with less than 2 minutes to go, there is a penalty shot awarded. And so it was that Bob Carpenter was foiled by Billy Smith. And so it is that the Islanders lead 5-4 with 30 seconds to go and could send this unbelievable drama from the Nassau Coliseum tonight. Islanders were down 4-2 at the start of the third period. Let's look at it again as Bob Carpenter has a chance to tie the game at 5. He elects to shoot. Smith made it look easy, didn't he? Billy Smith, the outstanding goaltender, has bailed his team out once again. Islanders 5, Washington 4. 30 seconds remaining in this game, or in the third period. The Capitals will have their goaltender Jensen out. They'll have the extra attacker on the ice, trying to tie it. This comeback tonight is very reminiscent of the 1982 first-round series when the Islanders were up against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They were down 3-1 in the third period, came back to win the game on a memorable John Tonelli goal, and then went on to win the Stanley Cup that season. Tonight, facing elimination, down 2-1 to the Capitals in the first round. The Islanders had a poor second period. The Capitals got in front 4-2. But a 3-goal comeback in the third period with Flatley. And then the veterans, Bossy and Trottier, the heart of this team, coming back to score to give the Islanders the 5-4 lead. And Billy Smith foils the Capitals' Bob Carpenter on a penalty shot with 30 seconds to go. And it's 5-4 Islanders, and we're about set to resume action. I don't know that anything else could happen in this game that hasn't already occurred. It's been a remarkable night, and a tribute to this great game of hockey. Played at its best by a 4-time champion and a would-be champion from Washington. Trottier, Bossy, Brent Sutter on the ice. The Washington goal is empty. The extra attacker is on the ice. And they'll have a free shot at the goal. Bossy shoots it. Scores! Bossy's fourth goal of the playoffs. The Islanders lead 6-4, 16 seconds to go, and there will be a fifth game in this series. 16 seconds to go in New York. The net is empty for Washington. Mike Bossy takes the puck to center, steps over the center line, and fires to the open net. He hits it. 1944, the time of the empty net goal. The Islanders lead 6-4 and will force a fifth game in this series. They count down the second. Billy Smith, the hero of the night. Mike Bossy with 2 goals. The Islanders dodge a bullet and win 6-4. There will be a fifth game on Tuesday night. This is Jim Houston reporting from Long Island.
So we'll have some fun watching the development of that fifth and deciding game on Tuesday night as they will go back to Washington and will be in Montreal deciding this series between the Bruins and the Canadiens. Hockey Night in Canada returns on CBC in just a moment. The Boston Bruins were down 4-1 after one period. 2 of Montreal's goals coming with Ken Linseman in the penalty box. The Bruins wind up winning at 7-6 with Linseman scoring the last 3 Boston goals of the game, including the only goal of the third period. Now, normally some series have tones, patterns to them, and you can figure out what's happening by looking at the first game and the last game, and generally you'll know what has happened in between. But absolutely nothing resembles that in this series, and I'm going to ask the fellows upstairs either to explain what we've seen in the first 4 games or tell us what we're going to see in the fifth. One's as tough as the other.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave. One thing Mickey did say near the start of this hockey game was he has seen a lot of funny goals, as he called it, go in here in the Boston Garden. Mick, 13 of them tonight. You're speechless. Come on.
Unbelievable. I tell you what, Dick, it's the strangest darn building I've ever seen in my life. The Lindsman goal, the third one, is just another example of the ricochets and the bounces and the style that the Bruins play in here with those small corners. It's like they just love to go down there. If it's free ice, they don't like it. They throw it in the corner, let's go and scrap for it. And that's why this team has been so exciting over the years, and they can win hockey games by playing that rough, tough, scrappy type hockey. It's just an amazing comeback by them tonight, and they've got to get full marks for that.
Well, as Dave mentioned, the Bruins' number 13 certainly was a lucky man for them. He came up with 3 goals. I think we're going to take a look at Lindsman's goals, and they were key all the way through the piece. This is now when the Bruins started their comeback. Kenny Lindsman scoring. This is in the second period. The Canadians did have the 4-1 lead, and it was Lindsman and Crowder who were combining. That was an excellent line, along with Charlie Simmer, and this is Lindsman's first goal. All right, his second goal, even bigger, came right at the end of the period. Larry Robinson had given the Canadians a 6-5 lead. Mick, right off the faceoff.
Well, again, we talked about faceoff, so important in this series, and we have seen a lot of goals scored right off the faceoff deep in the zone. But again, it's almost a carbon copy. Kenny Lindsman was right at the right place at the right time. Only this time it wasn't a pass; it was just a shot in, and he picked up the rebound. And Penny was screened out, and he just jammed it in. By that time, this building was rocking off its hinges.
All right, now the winner, O'Reilly, takes the check from Walter, but it sends Lindsman into the down the left side.
Well, he got a break. You know, it's not anything counts. Let's put it that way. It's in the net. It's in the net. But he made his own break by going wide with a good speed, and he froze Penny at the side of the net, and he couldn't get back. And under normal conditions, that puck might have gone out to Courtnall. You know, you don't know. If it doesn't hit Robinson, it may go to Courtnall and be a bang-in 1-1 shot anyway. But the way Lindsman's been going, he set this team on fire in Montreal. They got Crowder back, and we thought he'd be a factor. He was. That line's back together, and I just think we're in for a dandy Game 5.
All right, he went down the right side, not the left side, from the Montreal standpoint. I'm sure there are Canadian fans sitting back there saying they let up, they tried to protect the lead, they went to the defensive style too early.
Well, I guess it's easy to say that when you're up by 3 goals, but I really don't think that they fell back into a shell. I mean, I really think that you get a mental block in there. You're up by 3 goals, and you just sort of take it easy. You just try to play that good old grinding type of game. They did that, but the Bruins came on. I think they deserve the credit for forcing Montreal into some mistakes and getting back in the game.
Well, now we're down to a 1-game series Tuesday night. Here again, Dave Hodge.
And Ray Bourque, we should repeat again, did not have a point in this series until the second period of this game when he got 3 assists. He was firing the puck at the net. He was headmanning the puck to forwards. And Bourque played a big role in this game, as well as Ken Lindsman, who now has 10 playoff points. And until we check the summaries of other games, we can't make this official, but we believe Lindsman to be the leading playoff scorer. The Islanders have forced a 5th game in that series in the Patrick division by beating Washington 6-4. It was a comeback there because the Caps had a 4-2 lead and missed a penalty shot after the Islanders had taken a 5-4 margin. Mike Bossy on the scoreboard, and that's usually important. For the Islanders, it was tonight. The Buffalo Sabres, who had not been able to beat Quebec in last year's playoff series or in the first 2 games of this one, are now even with the Nordiques going back to Le Colisée on Tuesday night. Dave Andrechuk, who missed late season action with a shoulder injury, had 2 goals. And the Winnipeg Jets do not have Dale Hawerchuk, but do have a 5-3 lead over the Calgary Flames. Now, the Jets were well in front of this one, and the Flames are staging something of a comeback. So we should not say that that one is over yet, but it will be the series, if the Jets win. This series will end on Tuesday night at the Montreal Forum. Join us at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Bruins and the Canadians, the finale.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada. Brought to you by Molson, North America's oldest brewery with nearly 200 years of brewing excellence. Esso, with over 3,000 locations across Canada to serve you better. And by Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment. Quality is job one. Hockey Night in Canada is a CBC Sports presentation produced in cooperation with Canadian Sports Network.
CBC.